Hello YouTube. I'd like to provide a summary today of what happened, what went down. So basically, today is October the 1st. Today I went to Cape Coral just a couple days after the Hurricane Ian, and it was a bit crazy because so I got off work late, and then I started preparing everything because I wanted to take a few things to a couple people, and I got done like 2 hours later after leaving work, and then I started driving over there, and right before 1 hour before I got to the first person, which was about 50 miles away. 1 hour before, everything was dark, was pitch black. There was, light poles, no light poles, it was just insane. Everyone was driving crazy, crashes. I saw 3 or 4 crashes. I saw cars on the side of the road. It seems like people ran out of gas. It was a scary situation. Trees everywhere, roofs gone, rubble all over the place, and the signal was really bad. At some points you wouldn't have any signal at all, and then they don't have any water over there. They don't have any water, no light, no gas stations. I saw like 3 or 4 gas stations functioning, but they had like 100 vehicles. And from my experience, the issue with that is you can make a line for gas, but that doesn't mean that once you arrive after making that 100 vehicle line, that doesn't mean you're gonna get gas yourself, because you might be that last person. I mean, it's happened to me before, or I think. I know similar things happen in Hurricane Maria. I don't know if that specifically happened to me, but I remember waiting 36 hours in line for some gas. It was insane. In Hurricane Maria, when I hit Puerto Rico, it was bad. And this looks the same pretty much. There was light poles, knocked all over, hundreds of them knocked all over the place. There aren't that many trees in Cape Coral, so I would say it was a bit clearer. The road was a bit clearer than what happened in Puerto Rico, because in Puerto Rico there was trees everywhere, and it was very difficult to get all over the place. But Cape Coral, they have wide roads and few trees, so that's a good thing. The light poles also are a bit stronger, so that's good. But still, the damage is there. They're saying it can cost at a minimum 40 billion to repair. 50, 60 billion, upwards of that maybe. And what else? So there's a lot of there's closures on the bridges and on the roads. So the thing is, you got to take a map with you, like a paper map, and you got to take a lot of gasoline with you in your vehicle if you intend to go, and take food with you as well. Because thing is, with the closures, once you deviate from a path, the Google Maps is gonna reconfigure another address for you. But the thing is, you don't have any signal. So once it tries to reconfigure a direction, you don't get any direction. So then you're like lost in the limbo, and then you're trying to look through the Google Maps app to see where you're at and where you have to go. It's just a mess. So it's better to I mean, if you're gonna go with at least you and someone else. Bring food, bring water just in case you get stuck. Bring, I don't know, like 20 gallons of gasoline in your vehicle just in case. And water. And then make sure you take screenshots of the actual location on the Google Maps of the place you're gonna go to, just in case you need to use that screenshot as a reference on the map if the maps GPS thing goes crazy. And then just hope for the best. So it was a bit scary. I got there in the morning. It was still nighttime, and I got to the first house. I handed some things to this person, and then I tried to look for the GPS once again for the second person, but the GPS wasn't working. So luckily I had screenshotted the location on the map of the Google Apps. So I looked that up and I was like, oh, perfect. And then I found the place. But if I wouldn't have done that, it would have been quite difficult to find the place. Even if I had the address, I mean, I'm not a local to that place, so I wouldn't know. And without a paper map, it's even more difficult, of course. So going there, the GPS told me like 5 hours I would get there. I got there in like 7 hours because of the deviations and then other stuff, and the floods and traffic and all. And then coming back, that's when it got rough, because everyone started coming out. There was a bunch of traffic. It was very slow to get to places. You would be driving like 5 to 10 miles per hour to get to places. And then the GPS took me through another route, because the going is different than coming, because going, the police officers, they close certain roads and certain bridges, and then coming back they close other roads and other bridges. So it's not the same road coming and going. So it's a bit difficult in that sense. Coming back was like super complicated. It took me like, I don't know, like 8-9 hours to come back when it was supposed to be 5 hours. There was this road that I was driving through. I say we because I made friends with this dude that he got lost as well. Because I was trying to drive by a road that the GPS took me to, but then I got there and then it was closed off, and the GPS took me there. So I was like, okay, so now I need to find a different route. So I stopped there and asked for directions, and I kept looking at the map to see how I can manage the situation, because I was thinking to myself, okay, the West Coast must be full water. So I started talking to the locals. They kept telling me, oh, take the 41, take the 41. I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then I was talking with this other guy, which had gotten lost as well. And then he was at 1/4 tank. I was at 3/4. I initially told him, hey, you can come with me. You can drop off your car here, because he was gonna go to the same, roughly the same address. He was going to Gainesville. I was going to Perry, and then he said, no, I want to take the vehicle, whatever. I'm like, okay. He was at 1/4 tank, so he started following me, and pretty cool guy. And then we eventually got out. We took that 41 road west. But it was a bunch of traffic. There was this road we went to where we were driving like 30 minutes, and it was all covered in water everywhere. Trees torn down. And then the water almost got up to the bottom of the door. I have an SUV, so it was it was pretty up there. It was like 1 foot of water for like 30 minutes, covering the whole road. On that same road, there was like some trailer parks on the right, which were fully covered because they were even deeper below the road itself. So the vehicles in those trailers were being like covered all the way up to the window of the vehicles. And then I saw this other trailer park which had a bunch of rubble, a bunch of torn trailers, like hundreds, just torn, disaster. It was a mess. I wanted to take video of all that. I'd go in through there, but I was short on gas, and I had given gas to the people I went to donate things to. So I didn't want to risk it, because I was scared at that point, because I gave out some gas, food, and water, and so on and so forth. And then I was like, wait, I need gas too. So I have a 5-gallon tank, and then I had my SUV, which was half to 3/4. But then I was like, okay, wait, I need to go straight back to my house, because I can't mess around here, because there's no gas over there. And then you have to travel like 2 hours to get to a gas station that has gas, pretty much. So you can't mess around. What's crazy about the whole damage situation on this area is, going there, it took me, so for example, like I mentioned, 1 hour going, 50 miles, 1 hour going, it was all pitch black. I'm assuming it's the same thing, north, south, west, with the radius. So if you can think about it, it's a pretty large radius. If that's accurate, maybe it could be even larger, because the hurricane went east or northeast, so it's way more than that. And then Cape Coral wasn't even like the most damaged place. It was the Fort Myers. That's the one that received like 15 foot waves or water or storm surge. I didn't go to Fort Myers because it was it was too much. It was too much disaster. I didn't want to risk it getting stuck over there. It's just not a good idea. So I just went, gave the things to the family and colleagues and so on, and just decided to come back. But it's a bit rough. If you are there, if you are in Cape Coral and you don't know what it's like around you because you can't drive because you don't have gas or whatever, or you're thinking about leaving, please leave. If you live there, please leave. Go somewhere else. Go with your family members, because that place is gonna take a really long time to recover, maybe months, to recover back to normality. It's too much damage. And then if you're thinking of going over there to donate stuff, ask the people if they want to leave, first, because that would be even more beneficial to them in the long run. Or secondly, just make sure you're well equipped to get to the place, and well equipped to leave the place. Bring spare tires, bring gasoline, bring coolant, oil, and all that stuff. Make sure your vehicle doesn't get stuck over there, because you don't want a bad situation happening like that. But anyways, that was just a brief summary. I'm pretty sure there's stuff I missed. Whenever a hurricane goes through, like in that category, 4 to 5. Well, I remember from Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. First thing is, water, light, cell phone, radio, banks shut down, supermarkets shut down, gas stations shut down, trees all over the place, all over the road, light poles all over the road. You can't go anywhere. You need food, you need water. And then the worst part was, one of the worst was cash. So since there's no light, you can't use credit cards, so you need cash. And then you would go to banks to withdraw cash, but they don't have light. So there was just a very few that had light or generators so that you could withdraw cash. So it was rough. It was rough. I remember, sometimes lines to get cash were like 3 hours. Lines to get gas were like 12, 24, 36 hours. It was nuts. It was nuts. Lines to get food, lines to anything. Lines to survive, to breathe. It was traumatizing. I don't want to go through that ever again. Yeah, it's rough. I don't want to live next to the coast. It's too much. When a hurricane hits, it's too much. It's not fun. Anyways, I'm super tired. I've been driving all day. And anyways, just wanted to provide a little bit of summary, so you guys know what it's like if you've never been through a hurricane or don't know what it's like. It's one thing seeing it on video and pictures, it's another thing experiencing it. It's really scary. It's a different, it's like watching a movie. It's a horror movie. Yeah, it can be traumatizing. Anyways, you guys have a good one. Take care. Like, subscribe, share, comment what you would like to hear on next videos, and have a nice one.